anything about any kids because, as most of you know, I'm the new assistant coach and recruiting coordinator at Mississippi Valley State. But we're just going to be talking about, we want to do what I call the education or the miseducation of AAU basketball. The miseducation or education of AAU basketball, aka travel ball. I think
I'm gonna term it like this, EV. We're doing the education of the miseducation of AAU travel ball. We're educating.
There it is. I like that, Shoes. We're giving you the education of the miseducation of AAU basketball, because there are a lot of uninformed people that have unfortunately been talking about AAU, and it's got a bad rap. And so travel ball. I think like this, we're doing the. And so I was my thing had popped on. So at the end of the day, here's the deal. First of all, before I get going, hey, want to just shout out to our sponsor, Tatum & Wade Law Firm, located at 124 East of Meade Street, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Tatum & Wade are serious lawyers who get serious results. You know what I say? If you want to get paid, you need to go to Tatum & Wade. Let me just jump on before I get going, man. I got talking too quick. Let me introduce some of the co-hosts today. I'm happy to be back on. Like I said, we will not be talking about athletes today. We'll be just talking about the education of the miseducation of AAU, talking about the cost and all of those different things. But before I keep talking, we have Chad Jones from DC Bucks. What up, Chad?
What's going on?
We have Ashley Daniels, another coach from DC Bucks.
Hello.
We have the founder and head coach of the DC Bucks, Cordarius Jones, our regular co-host. What up, Cord?
What's up, Evie? How y'all doing?
We had Gabe Barber, the new kid on the block and founder of Community Save down on the Gulf Coast. What up, Gabe?
Hey, how you doing, man?
And we have the veteran, the legend from Mississippi Hoop Report, LaVelle Shoes Johnson. What up, Shoes?
What up, people? How y'all doing tonight?
And we have the easy elephant head on the show here from the Mississippi Play Sports. He has one of the biggest heads in the world. Please welcome to the show, the easy one, the masterful one. What up, Eddie?
Hey, what up, what up, what up? How y'all doing, man? It's gonna be a great show. Let's get it popping, like the youngsters say.
Listen, we're gonna jump right in. A lot of people, first of all, AAU has always been near and dear to me. I started AAU coaching AAU years ago, and what's crazy is I coached AAU for 10 years, from 1998 to 2008, with a program called Blessed IJN out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and my budget was anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 a year. I was blessed to have a major sponsor. We had our kids didn't pay anything as far as the trips. All they had to do was bring money for their food. I never got a stipend. My coaches never got a stipend. Now, my sponsor, who is, happens to be very close to me, he looked out for me, but there was never AV, I'm paying you X amount of dollars to coach and run this program. None of my coaches, they did it for a labor of love. They didn't get paid a stipend. And I get tired of this narrative that's going around how bad AAU or travel ball is for the game of basketball. It's all one-on-one. There's no structure. Well, I think if you go and watch the NBA, I see a lot of AAU in the NBA. They do a lot of false action, but at the end of the day, it's kill James Harden, kill KD, kill Kyrie, one-on-one. I don't know what anybody else is seeing, but that's what I see all the time. If you want to get more plays and different things like that, you probably want to look at college. they do a little bit more of that. But in the NBA is a paid AAU, in my opinion. I think AAU coaches get a bad rap on being ability to coach. I think some of your best coaches are from the AAU realm. Nothing against high school, because I coached high school too. I think there are a lot of great high school coaches as well. But I want to talk about tonight how we have had this negative perception on AAU and everything surrounding it. The AAU coaches, again, I made a post today for the parents, and these were for parents who and people who are what I call like maybe don't understand, a little bit ungrateful, and they want to complain not only about the referees, but man, this guy can't coach and this and that and the other, and they taking money from my kids. Well, I want to break down a little bit of that tonight. I have several AAU coaches, and if any high school coaches would like to come on, any parents would like to come on, feel free, inbox me on Twitter. I'll shoot you a link. All of us at some point, I think, have been, I know have, our parents in our own right. Not all of us. We got a few young bucks on here that maybe not have any kids. I don't know if they actually got any kids. I know Gabe don't have any kids. But at the end of the day, we want to just talk about a little bit about the AAU piece. And again, my situation was a rarity when I coached back in the day. It's not the norm. And that's why I said in the post, most AAU coaches, are investing time, which you can't put a price on your child, along with their own personal money. Most AAU coaches are having to pay for their own hotel room, their own food, and the gas to put in the vehicles. The money that you spend, I want to let you guys know, the money that you spend on the stipend, not the stipend, the fees that you give, most AAU programs, the fees that you give around 400, 500, and we'll get some of these to talk about what kind of fees they have. Those fees are taking care of maybe one or two tournaments at best if we broke it all the way down. And so also I want to just get guys, please jump on the live, ask questions. We want to talk to you on the live as well. But let me break down real quick, and then we'll jump into some of these coaches and their experiences on this AAU thing, along with Shoes, who not only is one of the top writers in the country, but also he's done his own bit of coaching as well. Let's get in a regular fee, what it costs to actually do an AAU event, or if you are on a team. So first of all, we have what they call the entry fee. Now, when I was coaching, an entry fee for a top tournament around $500. I know that now some of the top tournaments are around $800. I know that. But let's use what I consider the low end. We'll go a low end of a tournament just to keep the numbers. Let's say the average team in July, when they're going to play in front of the college coaches, let's use the figure $600. Is that a fair figure, everybody? $600 for an entry fee?
I think that's good. I think that's good.
Is that fair? So now we got $600 entry fee.
It is really on the low end, but we're
It's on
go
the low end.
It's on the low end.
Major
it's on
tournaments.
the low end.
I know some major tournaments that charge 900, 800,
Yes.
but we'll go 600. Now you got 600 right there. Now we're going to base this off one team, a 10 player team with two coaches. So you got $600 there. You have at least, if you're doing 10 players, you may only do one van, 15 passenger van, but first of all, they don't even make new 15 passenger vans anymore. They make 12 passenger vans. So if you did a 12 passenger van, that is what I call a major geek because it's 12 passengers for little kids. It ain't 12 like you tight. 10 players and 2 coaches are really tight in a 12 passenger van. Am I correct or am I lying? Am I telling the
You
truth?
better off doing 2 minivans.
What ends up happening, like Shoes say, you're gonna either get the 1 minivan and the 115 passenger, or what a lot of teams are doing, EV is like Shoes doing, they getting the 2 minivans because of luggage and stuff like that.
Absolutely, we got the luggage. So we used to get 2 15 passenger vans at least for our 2 teams to have some comfortability. So right there, you're talking about back in the day, and I've rented here, $300 per van, easy to rent for 3 days. Talk to me. Somebody got it? Is it a little bit more? Because I know it's at least 300. That's including insurance.
You probably could go about 450.
175. The average rate probably is about 175 a day to get a 15 passenger.
So now it is. Now see, here's the thing. I'm dating myself.
That's early too, though. That's early. That's early booking though, ain't it? Because you start getting closer to that date, the price go up.
So think about this. When I was renting them back in 1990 to 2008, I was paying $300. So I'm kind of going off of what I knew. So now you're talking about, we'll go down again. And let's say you booked early, $150 a day. So you're going to at least be charged for that 3 days. They're going to get you for the 3-day weekend, period. It ain't nothing to talk about. You're going to bring it back Sunday night, Monday morning. They're going to get you for 3 days.
They close on Sunday. You got to bring it back Monday morning.
You got to
pay for another day.
So we're looking at, can we safely say $400 on a low end per van? Is that
more like 500, but we'll say 400.
Let's go 450. I'll meet you in the middle. 450. So now we got 450 for one van. And let's say we do the minivan, we're going to have at least another 300. So that's $750 in van fees. We got $600 entry fee. Remember, we're doing this low. So right now, I need somebody to be my secretary.
$1,350.
$1,350. All right, perfect. I saw you writing it down. Perfect. So we got $1,350 just in that. Now, gas for those 2 vans, can we safely say that's going to be another $300 depending on where you're going round trip? That's easy $300?
Depending on where you're going. Yep. That's going to depend on where you're going. Yep.
Let's say the average AAU trip is at least 4 hours or 3 hours. So a 3-hour trip, you're going to spend at least $100 there.
Little Rock, Dallas, and Atlanta are all 6 hours. Birmingham, and New Orleans, the only places you go that's within 3 hours.
Well, actually, Shoes for Cordarius, them, help me if I'm right, but in Dallas about 8 hours for y'all.
Yeah, 8 hours. Yeah.
8 hours for them. Yeah, and for Gabe, Atlanta is what 8.5 hours, right, Gabe?
Yeah.
So we'll just go safely. $400 per van for gas. Is that accurate or am I tripping?
Not per van. No,
we're going low end.
No, $400 probably for both vehicles. No, you ain't spending $400 per van. No.
Okay, so $400 total. Because you got to bring the van back full.
Yeah. No, it's about $400. You can get away with
we'll go $400. So where we at right now?
Yeah, $1,750.
All right. Now, if you pay for the hotels, which I know in girls stay with their parents. But in the boys, if you have 10 players on the team, 3 players per room, and one room gonna have 4. That's how AAU rock. Yeah. And then you're gonna have a room for coaches. So you're gonna have 4 rooms at $80 per room per night, which is on the low end.
Hey, hold on. We staying at the Motel 3.
You ain't getting no $80 room.
Oh, no, about that. Better have a travel agent.
So you see what I'm saying? I'm dating myself. Back then, this was what I was paying because I was the director of basketball operating. I paid all these bills. So
Man,
now would you say $100 per night? Is that where we at on a minimum?
Well, I'll check. Let me just speak from a tournament director standpoint so people can know this. So
Okay.
there's a lot of money in the hotel piece. So what happened, and I don't do this as a tournament director, but a lot of tournament directors do a state of play. So what the state of play does is tournament directors work with the cities. The cities receive a bunch of money because the tournament directors and those teams that are coming to those cities have a huge financial impact. All right. The Magnolia Classic year before last, had just over 100 teams, and the economic impact in the 2019 Magnolia Classic for the city of Jackson was $1.7 million, just under $2 million. I'm a small tournament. You got to think about the Run of the Roses that's got what, Cordair, 700, 800. I mean, they've had 1,000.
1,000 teams, 1,000. I know the guy. Yeah. And that's a $900 event.
Yeah. So my economic impact for the city of Jackson with the 100 teams for Magnolia Classic is just under $2 million. So the city of Jackson actually cuts us a check for bringing the hotels, and we work with the hotels. So what's happening is these hotels are saying, hey, look, I'm going to force Lavelle Shoes Johnson to stay in my hotel. Shoes can't play in my tournament. Shoes cannot play in my tournament if he doesn't stay in my host hotels, or if he doesn't stay in my host hotels, he's got to pay a $350. So what happens is that $129 a night per room is now $159 a night because the tournament director is getting a kickback on those hotels. When only now when there's a stay to play, which means that you can't book outside of the required hotels that the tournament director has assigned with the sports commission in the cities, the sports commission and that type of thing. So I'm gonna be honest with you, EV, live period events, you probably better be budgeted for about $150 a month. I'm just being honest.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna ignore that you just told us the facts, and we're gonna go down to keep it to 125. We're just gonna say no, Eddie, it ain't that. Even though you're right, I know you're right, but we're gonna say 125 per room. So that's 4 rooms. 125 times 4 is what? $1,000?
$500.
No, 500. 124. Man, that shows my math. $500. That lets you know the guy right there, Eddie on top of that stuff. So that's $500 per night. So if you stay 2 nights, you're gonna stay Friday and Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, either one. So that is 500 times 2. That's $1,000. So we got $1,000 for one team in a hotel. What we up to now, Eddie? How much money?
$2,750.
$2,750, and we'll just keep it even. We're gonna spend at least another $250, and there's gonna be another money spent, at least $100 on food. Would you agree?
Yep.
How much would we say on food for the weekend?
When Shoes was coaching, me and Shoes probably about $150, but you know, we how Cordarius and them Jones boys, they didn't eat a lot this weekend, so they may not be eating too much. Gabe don't eat nothing but sandwiches. So I mean, it just depends on the coach, but I think $100 is probably fair.
Okay, yeah. So let's just say, just for argument's sake, average trip is gonna cost you $2,800, and that's on a low end. Can we say that? All right, now, low end. Question. This question is for Cordarius. That's $2,800, 10 players, okay? 10 players. Remember the 2,800. How many tournaments do you play in?
One,
a
two. What about 680? Maybe if you're doing every one of them.
Yeah, between the big
but they got 8. I would say 8 because you're gonna have some warm-up events too. If it was a normal year, I say 8.
But on average, we'll keep it down to that. We'll keep it down to 6 because we're gonna say there's gonna be 6 events where we know you're gonna spend $2,800. You're gonna spend $2,800. Okay, we're gonna say there's 6 events we're gonna spend $2,800. Okay, 2,800 times 6 is $16,800. If you divided that by 10, $16,800 divided by 10 is $1,680. So that on a low end is what a kid should be paying per kid. $1,680 is what they should be paying per kid just to meet the minimum budget. Go ahead, Eddie.
No. Hold on, my friend. You also got what they call gym expense.
Yeah.
That's your biggest cost. You got to understand when you practice.
Talking about for practice. No. We're scratching practice. We're not even talking about practice. Let's just say eliminate. I want you, Eddie. What I want you to do is give me a little side. Give me a side note. How much on practice? Tell me what practice is going to cost you.
Well, per team, we budget about
one team. Just give me one team. How much?
Team, $500 to $600 with gym costs, probably for the year, because guys like me and Cordera's got some hookups. Now we got hookups, but if you don't have a hookup, you're probably spending $1,000. Now let me just say this: we ain't talked about insurance either, because all those gyms want you to get insurance and to write those insurance with those schools. If you're at the schools, want at least $1 million liability insurance. So now you've got another
$30 a month, $40 a month.
Yeah, through the year, because if you get it annually, you can save a little bit. So we're talking about another $400 in insurance, and at least since we're doing the low end, let's stay low. So let's do $600 gym, $400 insurance to be.
So $1,000.
Yeah.
We're just gonna say we're gonna wipe away that $1,000 like it's not there. Let's just stay at the $1,680 number, okay? So then we're just gonna wipe that out. We're just gonna say, Eddie donated some money for that, or shoes. Shoes gave us that. So now we got $1,680 what we should pay for the minimum. That is without paying the coach, the AAU coach, a stipend. High school coaches in most states, they get at least anywhere from $2,500 stipend all the way up to some people get $12,000, $13,000. 20,000, just depends on where you go. So now most AAU coaches are not getting a stipend. Now, when I was sponsored by Reebok for 10 years, I was sponsored from Reebok maybe 3 or 4 years. During that time, we had a national team. We got what we call what was we call? I forgot. I got like a little stipend.
Promo. They call it promo now.
Yeah, promo. So I got like a lot of gear, but then I got like a $2,500, a consultant fee. There it is. I was a consultant for Reebok. So I got like $2,500, a couple of years. And so that was quote unquote my deal. Now, $1,680. Remember that number. I need everybody to say $1,680. I need you to remember that, Ashley.
1,680 shoes on mute still.
Yeah, y'all still on mute. I need you to unmute, Ashley. You're not. Yeah.
I said, all right, Reverend. All right, Reverend.
1,680. I gotta have a touch your neighbor. That's a touch your neighbor moment. Shoot. Now,
in a minute, Ashley, he gonna be passing the collection plate around. Actually, people don't make money and stuff. Just like, that's a whole nother subject. I'm sorry.
Hey, Darius, how much do you? No, we'll go to Gabe. Gabe, how much do you charge per kid to be on your
400?
How much? 400. Eddie, since you're doing the math and you do math a little better than me, what's 1,680 minus 400?
1,280.
So we got 1,280 that somebody taking care of. So just let's mark that. So 400 for Gabe, community save. What you charging, Cordarius?
From 350 to 450.
All right, so we'll give you 400. So we got 400 on the table. Eddie, what you charging?
450 to 550.
Okay, so we got 500. So now we got 1,280 and now we got $1,180 that's unaccounted for per kid. Where is that money coming from? Let's go to you, Gabe. Where's the money coming from? Because you're doing 6 tournaments. The money got to be spent. Where is it coming from?
Donations, sponsors,
donations, sponsors. Okay.
Fundraising.
What about you?
Same things. Fundraisers that really nobody really participate in sometimes. And, sponsors and donations, whatever you can get.
Eddie.
So let me be frank and be transparent, because I know I got some parents on here like, all right, coach, we ain't getting no fans. We paying for our own hotel rooms and all that. That's why our fee is where it is. So let me be totally transparent. And what EV is really relevant to everybody that's listening is more predicated to the boys versus girls.
Yeah.
Girls are a little different. Parents aren't sending their 15, 14-year-old girls out of town, but they'll drop them little boys off in a minute when they turn 11.
They ain't sending them 12 and 13-year-olds off. They'll start about 13 or 14, letting them travel. But the mom and dad are going when you're taking them 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 off.
I want the mom and dad to go.
I appreciate you saying that, Eddie. That's a good point. And I want to make this clear. He's right. I'm talking about a typical boys. So Eddie, if you would, because I want to be accurate. Now, break those numbers down, what you say for the girls. So I want you to take over and just break those down, because that's not fair. That's not a fair assessment of the girls. So I need you to break down. That 1680 is skewed on the girl side. But for the boys, mostly we can agree with that's in that range somewhere. So the girls kind of break that down. Break all the way down.
16 and 17, you ball. Those numbers. Those are low end numbers there that we talking about.
That's correct. That's low. Yeah, I would agree with that, because I did shoes. As shoes know, I did boys for about 5 years too. A lot of people don't know that I did boys, and I participated in those live peers. And I wasn't NBA hoops, and I wasn't Jackson Tigers, and I wasn't Rodney Hood. Yeah, I wasn't those type of teams. So shoes was kind of a mentor to me when I had those boys, and just him and Lamar Roy and other people that I leaned on. And I was paying honestly $750 to $800 because, like I said, my team wasn't a national team or a team that people knew about. So I had some solid kids that went on to do some decent things. But again, I was a new program, just trying to help some boys in the area, and so I was spending that type of money. So let me just let people know that the program was built on the finances of myself, Coach Hobart and Coach Felton, and guys like that. Because let me tell you what's intriguing, what you guys don't know. We didn't even charge our boys, Chad. When I had the boys team, when I had Trey Spencer and all of them shoes, those boys wasn't paying any money. No, they didn't pay a penny. But again, I had to go and get quality kids, guys, because everybody want to play with the Jackson Tigers. So the one thing that I was able to do to get guys like Pooh, Tre'Davious that played down at Jones or some of those kids, I was able to get those kids because I was fitting the bill. You had to kind of take care of those kids, and when you're on the road, those boys at that age was eating up $100, $200 worth of food over a weekend. And if you're there in some of the tournaments all week, they'll eat you out of house and home, and that's per kid. And so we covered all the financing then. So this program was built on the back of Coach Young and Coach Hobart and guys like that, Coach Credit, who actually spent all of our money. Now let's transition to the girls and where we are now. And this is very important so people can understand. The girls and the misperception with Adidas, Under Armour, and not because they think, oh, well, if I'm with a shoe team, my money is free, and that's not true. So let me just educate people on that. So we charge $450 for the regular Bobcats because we had uniforms. We charge $550 for the Bobcats Northeast because this is a new team. We had to get uniforms, which uniforms cost about $1,000. Time to put shipping, printing, things like that. So that's another cost. some of these people who get uniforms every year. I know there's some teams who get 2-3 uniforms every year, and that's in the budget as well. So for us, how our budget was broken down, I'll be totally honest with you. Our 16 and 17 U had gold sponsorships, our top 2 teams. So our promo money there was enough money given to where I really could have taken care of our 16 U and 17 U. But what we decided to do is distribute that money all the way down to each one of our teams. In other words, it basically bought bags for every team. I was able to get Adidas bags for all my teams, be able to get certain things like that. So now there were some perks in terms of us not paying for the Adidas terms in terms of entry fees and things like that. So we wasn't paying $700-800 like some teams to go play an independent event because you're a gold team, you're not paying the same amount of money. So those were some financial benefits. But again, $450, you talk about the Jackson teams. And in our schedule, we got about 10 teams, about 10 tournaments on the schedule. So if you factor in an average of about $400 a tournament, then you're talking about 10 times 400 is about $4,000 in entry fee. Well, if we charge $450, that's the budget gone right there. And also, we order shoes that Adidas don't pay for shoes. Contrary to what people think, because shoes know this. People think that if you're a sponsored team, then everybody in your program will get brand new shoes. You get with it. It's like they think we got an account where I can just call and say, hey, ship a bunch of shoes. No, my parents, so people can know, my parents in the Bobcat program pay for their own shoes. They pay for their own uniform, other than the 16U and 17U. So let's be clear. The sponsorship is for your top teams, not your 9th grade, not your 8th grade, they pay for every single thing. But what's good about this is that my parents travel. I got some great parents that travel. They pay for their own hotel rooms. They make those financial sacrifices. They see the benefit and the value of what we're doing in programs like Cordairs and Gabe and things like that. And they pay for their own, they pay for their own entry fees and stuff. So again, $450 for us basically covers gym, practice space, insurance, tournament fees, and their gear. Just like the high school, most of these high school teams are going to charge for shoes, bags, and shirts and all that. You're going to pay a couple $100. So that's the bulk of why our kids are paying the money that they're paying. But again, the program was built on the finances of my wife and Coach Hobart, who spent $8 to $10 grand a year helping us really get this program off the ground before we even got into some of the perks that we were able to get with Adidas. So that needs to be understood, because a lot of people have that misconception that let me go play with a Nike. And the Nike's budgets is different. I know some of the Nike, now if you're on the EYBL, you ain't paying for nothing, you're getting shoes. If you're a top kid like Malik Newman, you probably get Nike shoes at your front door every day. But those are few far in between. And those are programs who got top 50 kids. But again, on the girl side, there is not a whole lot of money, even with the EYBL, because I've talked to some EYBL guys, and they don't have a huge budget to work with in terms of being sponsored. So again, so people will know the parents on the girls' side spend a heck of a lot of money. Mostly on the boys' side, you either, like Cordairs and EV said, you either got a sponsor, a money man. With us, the money man was myself, my wife, Coach Hobart, Coach Felton. We fitted all the finances for those teams on the boys' side. And that's kind of why I'm on the girls' side right now, because I was probably about to lose my marriage spending 15 grand a year, so it's very expensive. So people will know club directors on boys' side spend a hell of a lot of money to make this thing work. So I'll go to mute and let you guys try.
And I want to say something. And Eddie just broke it down all the way. And there's some guys out here that's lying to parents, trying to recruit kids, saying that we're gonna get you free this, free that, and then when you come over, you're still paying money. And I'm glad you broke it down. And they say, oh, you playing for a Adidas team or a Nike team or this and that, but you're still coming over and paying that $450 to $500 range. They lied to them, and I'm glad you broke it down like that.
So Eddie, here's what I need to know though, because I broke the thing down where we had to a precise number. So I want to get to that precise number on girls, or very close. if we knew the number on a low end, we said for the boys was $16.80 per kid for one team per player. That's if that was paid, that would take care of everything. If a kid really and a parent really paid everything, and that included, hotels and everything, for you,
Yeah.
what would you say that number is? Is that number
Yeah.
$1,000 per kid?
Well, I'll tell you on the girls' side, if I didn't, let's just remove Eddie Young with the discounts that I can get because I'm in the tournament business and I know
Right.
people. Let's throw that out the window. You ain't Eddie Young. All right, so let's throw that out the window. So if that's the case, and because you got to take care of your coach's hotel room. I mean, they don't get paid, whatever. Either they're getting a stipend out of it, or their hotels are being paid. So I would say a fair, realistic number when you factor in, because let's just say Coach Gabe, assistant coach, if he's covering the hotel room for 8 tournaments at $300 a weekend, so that's 8 tournaments that he went to out of town at $300. That's $2,400 right there. A realistic number, EV, is about $800. I would say you could charge on girls $750 to $800 is what you could charge.
Okay, and so now again, we've already seen where, and I would say that's really low. I mean, I think that you're giving that's still a very good, like a decent. When we'll give you that because you do the girls. So I'll go with you on that. So now, as we heard earlier, there's $400 that we're only charging. So there's another $400 that's unaccounted for that has to come through sponsors and stuff like that. And my point is this: again, this is not for the parent who, I've seen some comments about on the Twitter post that we had. Some parents said we take care of other parents and blah 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 blah, and we appreciate those parents. But this is about the parents who always seem to be complaining about something, and the people outside of the parents who are saying these AAU coaches are doing this for the money. I had a guy talk about the AAU as a million dollar deal. Well, yeah, it is. But to be honest,
so is the NBA. But so is the NBA. You're right. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah,
and a lot of times you're on mute, Shoe.
So is the NCAA.
Shoe, please.
That's a whole nother story.
We don't even want to talk about that.
Hold on, Evie. You can't say nothing about that. All right, let's keep it going.
Yeah, we don't want to even talk about that racket. But anyway, so at the end of the day, all we're saying is that when Chad, do you have any children?
Yeah, I got 3.
You got 3 children. Did your children travel with you 3 hours to Jackson this weekend?
My two boys did.
Your 2 boys did, but you left somebody at home, right?
Yeah.
So you spent how many hours? You spent what, 48 hours in Jackson?
Say it again.
You spent 48 hours in Jackson, right? At least.
Yeah.
So and at least 6 of that was on the road, right? Traveling.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you coached. How many games did you coach this weekend?
3 games.
Total. You only did 3.
Yeah.
So you did 3 for the weekend. And if anybody's ever coached, Ashley, did you coach this weekend?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any children?
She gave me a rough time, Evie.
You know kids. How many games did you have? You should say you gave her a rough time.
She gave me a rough time, Evie. She gave me a rough time.
Okay.
Oh.
How many games did you do, Ashley?
We did 3. I had 3 games.
Gabe, how many games did you coach this weekend?
12.
Wow, you coached 12. You got 3 teams. Corey, how many you coached this weekend?
6.
How many of you coach, Eddie, this weekend?
I coach 5.
Coach 5. So would it be fair to say, I remember when I coached in a minor league, and it was a low budget minor league. Man, I got $50 a game, and I had to drive 80 minutes just to get there. So, my gas, they just basically barely paid for my gas. Chad, how much did you get paid to coach this weekend? Like, did somebody give you $50 or $100 say, man, thanks?
No.
Okay. Did somebody do that to you, Ashley?
No.
Gabe, did somebody, like, I'm cool if they did. Gabe, did you get something this weekend for that?
No.
Cordaris, did you get something?
Got a free hotel.
You got a free hotel. That's a blessing. Man, that's a blessing. Man, that's not like, hey, because there's some people we want to know that. Eddie, you get something like Eddie. Eddie got something. He's the tournament director, so we ain't gonna have.
Let me just say,
we know you got. We ain't gonna let you try to trick us. But what? But did you get?
Let me say this. I was really happy because I don't get this a lot. But one of my parents brought me a cold drink, and one of our kids had a birthday. It was their birthday, and I got a piece of the cake on Saturday. So I was happy to get my Coke and a piece of cake because I normally don't even get offered a cold drink or a bottle of water, but I was glad to have that. So I'm very appreciative of that, man. Ain't no doubt. Hey, look,
I want to say thanks. I want to say thanks to my parents. They got me and Chad. We lost our grandma this weekend. We still went to Jackson. Right after the funeral, and they showed they concern, and they got us a card, and just that that means a lot. Just wrote their names in, all the players, so that means a lot. To just somebody just giving their time just to see the betterment of this, just the community and the girls.
Let me say this, man, and that's admirable too, Cordaris, man. Definitely still praying for you and your family, but there's a lot of love and coach within our program. I mean, Kamani just, talked about on the live chat of what they're spending the weekend. I see Brad. Brad says that I can't speak for the girl. I can speak for the girls from NBA because I know Coach Cord, and we know that they take care of the girls. Basically, Brad saying he knows that guys like myself and Cordaris take care of these girls. And so there are a lot of appreciative parents that appreciate. So what EV is trying to translate, we're just trying to educate some of the parents that don't know. This ain't no session where we're trying to let people understand from our perspective how much this stuff costs financially, because a lot of people really don't understand it. They just assume that they can. And one thing that EV talked about earlier today about how spending time away from your family, like Chad, I think I'm gonna let him finish because I take over the show. How that time away from your child, you can't put a price tag on that, man. So that's probably the most important thing that a lot of times, we don't, as parents, we don't really accept or put a value on, because that's huge when you.
Absolutely, and that's for the naysayers. This is not even about the parents per se, because I think a lot of parents, I would say a lot of parents get it, but these are for the AAU naysayers. Here's a man that left his child, his significant other, and got on the road. He does this constantly, and at the end of the day, nobody talks about that. You can't put that time on. I'll just go for myself. And I was younger and I didn't understand. One of the reasons I take up for AAU so much, my two oldest daughters, for 6 months out of the year, because we did AAU big. I traveled. I met with Kevin Durant and his mom, trying to get him. I was thinking about trying to get him to be a part of our program. And I would fly all over the country. I was just blessed like that. I mean, I had a recruiting budget where we would go and recruit kids. I went to every one of Dwight Howard's high school games in his senior year, just traveling all over. And that time I can never get back with my two oldest daughters, Farron, who's now about to turn 30, and my daughter Mary, who's about to turn 26. They didn't get to travel a lot. I think they went on one trip. We went to Florida and took them to Disney World one time. But if I had to do it all over again, I would do that whole deal differently. I really would, because what I find is now there's a lot of people with all the stuff, and there's no bitterness because I really enjoy the time. You know, I can just look at all the kids that I've helped and touched and spent time with. But it is disappointing when there is a lot of ungratefulness, you know, from even some parents, and they forget what they did for you, what you did for them. And you didn't do it, like I didn't do stuff to get accolades per se, but I do want some appreciation. And I do, if I make a mistake, don't act like I haven't, you know, I'm that guy, you know, you forgot I was that guy that bought you meals. That's why I can't stand shoes. These AU players these NBA players who played AU and they forget about the AU coaches. It's so many stories in the NBA where from LeBron James on down, because I was privileged. LeBron is one of my favorite players of all time. But you have all these stories where, you know, this person did that for them. They fed them, and you know, they stayed at their house. And then when you make it, you can't look out for them. I got a real problem with that. And so I have a challenge sometimes when I sense and see ungratefulness or people say stuff about AAU and they have no regard for the Chads, the Ashleys, the Gabe Barbers, and all the other Eddie Youngs, the Cordarius Joneses of the world, who spend time away from their parents. I mean, from their families, to go out on the road and coach for nothing, literally. Like
a thing, something I want to point out, EV, is, you know, we're talking about the money, but you know, when there's always side money. I mean, when I say side money, as far as you spend, I guarantee you, every one of these coaches have had to spend gas during the week for practice to pick kids up and take them home. That's out of their pocket, that they're gonna go pick those kids, pick 2 or 3 kids up whose parents couldn't get them to practice that day. Somebody, you know, that you did. Sometimes you're gonna feed some of those kids after practice out of your own pocket. You know, just the little bit of odds and ends that go into it add up. When we talk about how coaches spend their own money in this, you know, it's not even just the trips where you spend your money. You spend money throughout the week with dealing with the kids.
That's exactly right.
I want to point that out.
I want to say.
Go ahead, Chad, and then you, Corey, come back.
I'm gonna say this. There's a piggyback off what you said, EV. You know what I'm saying? And Corey, yeah, we lost my grandmama. Shout out to Eddie though for helping us out, you know, as far as getting our gains to where we can, you know, make it. But also with it, I had an anniversary on the 30th. So I came down there Saturday, straight after the funeral. On top of my Sunday, it was my anniversary. Me and my wife anniversary, 6 years.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So when you hear negativity about small things, they forget about the things that we doing, sacrificing just to get their kid a shot.
Wow, that's powerful. Now, you know, y'all just, you know, you got you a good wife, just like my wife. I got the greatest wife in the world. I know, you know, Eddie probably will disagree because he feel like he got the greatest one. Anybody married, you know, if you ain't feeling that way, you know, something wrong. But usually some wives, man, anniversary, they don't want just an anniversary day. They want an anniversary week and sometimes an anniversary month.
But let me say this,
they want to celebrate the whole month.
I'm going to say this. The whole month of May, we've been rolling. But the whole month of May, Nurse Week, my wife's a nurse, Mother's Day, her birthday, anniversary, all in the month of May. So I've been busy the whole month of May spending money for that. Got to show my appreciation to her on top of trying to run an organization.
Right.
3 kids. Both my kids, got 2 of my sons' birthday in April. 1 of my daughters' birthday in May. So I've been busy the whole month of May. 'Cause I got to show my appreciation to her on top of trying to run an organization.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the crunch time with spring travel ball.
How old are your children, Chad?
My oldest is 7, and my second oldest is 5, and my baby girl is finna turn 2 in June, the 12th.
Yeah, you got some little babies. You got some babies.
So really, when you hear negativity, a person like me, I don't like to hear it because I'm sacrificing a whole lot. So it's days when we practice on Tuesday. I literally, on my break at work, go to practice, then go back to work.
Wow.
So that's why I can't stand a person to come in my practice and halfway work or give me back talk or give me lip or anything, because I didn't have to come missing my money. So you could back talk and roll your eyes.
But then people say this, EV. I want you to answer this to your expertise. Oh, y'all chose to do this. Y'all chose to do this, so that's what come with it. You know, it's every job. That's with doctors, teachers, police officers. Folks say you chose to do this, so you got to just accept whatever backlash that comes from whatever. All right, Eddie?
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I know you was asking EV before EV kind of chimed in on that. I think we were called to do this because it takes a special type of person. Some of the most hated people in the world are policemen, AAU coaches for whatever reason, referees, shoes. I mean, we're the most hated. EV, Southern black pastor. So we're the most hated people in the world. In some regard, and I say that being facetious, but we were called to do something special, and at the end of the day, it's all worth it when you can help one child and make a difference in their life, whether it be advancing them to maintain a college scholarship, or whether it be just be a good example in their life. I talked about this on the radio show that I was on last week. Corey Isaac, shout out to my guy Corey Isaac with Blueprint Podcast. He's got several really good people from Mississippi on his show. But I talked about that. You know, we make a lot of sacrifices, and Corey, we have to take a lot. So I agree with you, and I'm gonna let EV jump in on that. But you absolutely right, Corey, on that. And Chad, man, you know, hearing your story is admirable, man. To see, you know, the type of sacrifices that you're making. When a lot of
Red Bull.
Yeah, because you putting other kids in front ahead of your own kids. You know what I'm saying? So
appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that's powerful. I mean, those are the stories that need to be, mentioned. You know, Chad, that is, you said something that was really powerful when you talked about you took part of your lunch break. You came off of your lunch break, which normally is an hour, and I know you took a little extra time. But anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that. But you got the right type of job. But hey, but the key is this: it's his extra time. Oh God, I felt good when I said that. It's his extra time. You see what I'm saying? He got the right. He's earned the right to take some time, whatever his job is allowed. But it's his time. So now you're exactly right. And what you made me think, Chad, is transitioning all of you athletes that's listening to this. Now you got to become more grateful too, because this goes to you. They are investing time. We talk about the parents, but they're investing time in you. And for you to come and give a half, as some of them people say, a half a effort, because they know I don't use profanity, but you use yeah, that ain't right. And you gotta, when this guy, like, and you haven't gotten into this yet, where you got to pay rent, you got to pay bills. I'm talking about the athletes.
Oh, okay.
They gotta pay bills. These coaches paying bills, and then you come in and you don't give the proper effort. Gabe, let me jump to you real quick. You as someone who's we call the new kid on the block. What in your experience, it's been a short time. I you say you've been doing it about 3 years now. You know, as my mama say, you still wet behind the ears. I got kids your age. But what has been your experience with even your time as a young man, 23, 24 young man who, you know, obviously has a nice young lady friend and could be doing some other stuff. Talk to me a little bit about your experience in this game so far and what the sacrifices you've had to make.
Well, for one, I'm still in school, so full time. So I know that takes a lot of time away from, you know, just study hours, things that I could be focusing on as far as, you know, trying to finish up classes, trying to finish up a degree. Of course, me still being young, I got bills, got a car note. So that is cutting into hours that I could be picking up. But instead, you know, I'm adjusting my schedule to, you know, kind of make time to schedule those practices throughout the week. And then, of course, when we are traveling, I'm not, you know, in a decent financial spot to where traveling is an easy thing for me. So, of course, I'm having to pick up extra hours. I'm having to, you know, just kind of go 7 days a week doing what I'm doing to kind of make ends meet. And then, of course, on top of me, having a lady friend that, you know, I hate to say it on live, but she requires a lot.
Hey, bring your camera down a little bit. Hey, bring your camera down so we can see. I'm sorry. There you go.
Yeah. So of course, you know, she kind of requires a lot here and there. But she understands the sacrifices as well, as far as, you know, I can't say though, it's not all bad. You do have a few good parents here and there that understand that kind of help come through and kind of help make ends meet. But for the most part, of course, just school and my job, those are sacrifices that I am making as far as my time and my money.
Ashley, how long have you been coaching? I know you're new and a former player of Courts, I think. How long have you been coaching with Court?
I'm a newcomer. I just started this year. This is my first season with the Bucks. Okay. But I'm familiar with the AAU program and with female athletics overall, you know, so.
Talk to me a little bit about your thoughts.
Well, okay. I'm a two-time high school champion. I played at the University of Arkansas for 4 years. I played overseas for 7 years. I played for the Alabama Roadrunners when I was in high school. So I'm familiar with the cost of traveling, the expenses of going to these tournaments, and the sacrifices that the parents do make. Because I know that my parents made a lot of sacrifices to be able to get me different events, or just to be able to get there to support me at those events. I think that as a coach now, I see it from a different aspect. The coaches do require a different level from the athlete because of their sacrifices that they're making themselves. So it's tough. It's tough. As for me, I don't have a family. I don't have kids. I do have my parents and nieces and nephews. So I have a boyfriend as well. He's been a great help, you know, as far as finances and helping me to be able to travel and things. And also the program helps take care of hotel rooms for myself. But I have assisted with helping the kids, you know, a few of my players with a meal here and there. And I've also seen other player parents help other players with meals or, you know, anything that was needed. So as far as the Bucks program, the help is there. We got great leadership in place. We got great parents. It's open arms. So it requires a lot, but with the program that I'm in, I see that they take care of their own. So it's been pretty good for me.
That's good. That's powerful, man. I didn't know we had such a star on here today. Man, I didn't introduce you properly.
She a legend. She a legend, EV.
Yeah,
EV, she a legend.
Core. I'm really disappointed in you, Core. You didn't tell me we had the Ashley Daniels on here. You know,
she played ball in Arkansas when she came on.
Hey, Shoes, he didn't have his hearing aid in, man. You know he getting old. He ain't having.
You talking about the Razorbacks, Ashley?
Yes, sir.
SEC.
Yes, sir.
Man, you know what? Listen, I'm so excited. I don't know what to do because I've been over here deferring to this clown Eddie Young, and I got an SEC player. You know, I got a real SEC player who knows what a high major looks like, and I got to argue with. We ain't gonna go into names or nothing, but I got to argue with this clown all the time, and I got a legend, a two-time state champion. Eddie don't even know what state. Eddie is a state champion buffet eater. That's what he's done. He has won the Golden Corral buffet championship. He has no clue about what you talking about a gold ball. He's at a gold bowl. I mean, he gets a gold bowl. You know, so it's my,
you gonna let it roll like that on your head?
Hey, he going in on. Hey, Ashley, you thought that was funny? You really you enjoy?
I'm done.
Oh, y'all think this? Hey, y'all think
go in on you?
Now he want to try to bully somebody. He one of them, like Eddie was one of them guys. As a kid, they talk about him. He want to. Oh, so you want to laugh? You want to laugh? You know, he don't want to talk to the person that said, "Oh, you want to laugh?" Man, go on somewhere and get somebody. Nobody think about you. But anyway, back to our regular schedule program. But no, Ashley, so great, man. I'm so really though, seriously, so excited that someone like yourself is in the program because they need these young ladies, and shout out to all the men on here, Gabe, Eddie, Cordarius, and Chad. But it is a tribute for it's good to see young ladies like yourself, Ashley, come back playing overseas. They should be able to listen to you. You've played at the highest level. You've made money playing this game. If they can't listen, they should really be listening to you more than they listen to us. I'm just being honest because
I get a really good response from our players.
Yeah, and that's good. But the crazy thing is, some kids, man, they act like, man, I don't know you. Who is Ashley Daddy? They're like, now you're gonna find some. If your name ain't Jordan or LeBron, and it's got to be the day's players.
Yeah,
they'll act like who? They'll go back and act who Dominique? Who is that? Dominique. They not thinking that Dominique was Scotty.
She better tell them Google me.
They know what that means.
They seen the highlights.
Tell them Google.
We played them we played the players in practice the other day. And, it got a little intense now, so they know what's up.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. We got a couple people on. I see some people saying really insightful show, hearing the different sacrifices, impressive resume, Ashley. Somebody said, please come back. Another one, so true, bad. Brad, my brother speaks very highly all the time of your daughter, MK. And, Brad said Eddie takes care of us. And so he's saying Eddie is, he told the truth. He didn't tell the truth. He said, he's 100% real. I'm not saying it because he's my brother. Nope, you are saying it because your brother T Young. That's your brother. This dude ain't 100% real.
Hey, look.
He got a 100% real big head. That's what he got.
Hey, look. Don't gloss over. Go back to the comments that they talking about. Eddie takes care of us. You saw how he glossed over their shoes. Eddie takes care of us. He just ran through it. He was talking real loud. Eddie takes care of us. No, just let's be real, you hater. Hey, look, I still gotta shake the haters out.
You want the same intensity, don't you?
I want that same intensity. There you go.
You should be happy. I gave you the show, and it was like, I had to sit here and listen to you. Last week I couldn't be on to just, correct you, publicly. But you did do it, I want to say publicly, even though I talk about how big your head is. And I try to speak the truth about that. But you do a good job, man. And you are appreciated. And I want to say publicly, I appreciate everything that you've done because on this, with these guys, you are the veteran. you know, compared to these other young guys and, you know, and young ladies.
Hey man, we ain't got time for all that sentimental stuff, man. Let's come on with the show. I don't want to hear all that.
See, this is what I'm talking about. An ungrateful, and I'm not gonna say the word I want to say, an ungrateful individual. You see what I'm saying? Trying to help him out. This is what
Look how Gabe's taking
show is talking about.
Gabe and Ashley, this is every week, Gabe and Ashley. Don't even worry about it. This is every week, Gabe and Ashley, when we on the show. They do this. This is part of it. The only way we shut EV up is when he got a chicken bone in his mouth.
Did you see how Shoes tried to slip in and take up Eddie? Eddie is frozen. Look at him. He's frozen. Look at his mouth. He's just can y'all see how he froze? He was frozen.
Hey, look, Ashley, the minute he gonna bring out a pack of Oreos out of his back pocket or a pack of Google snacks or Little Debbie snack cakes in a minute. That's his thing. What's our snack for the night, man?
Please don't talk about Little Debbie. That's a nasty hoe right there, Little Debbie. You know, I just gotta say it just like I mean it. Like she's done me a lot of harm in my life right there. Every time I go in the gas station, she's looking at me like, I'm here. And I say, I'm not eating you today. And she says, no problem.
Two for $1. Huh?
Oh man, don't y'all talk about that's a nasty one right there. We ain't gonna get in that one.
Hey, what's your favorite Little Debbie snack, TV?
Oh man, I gotta go with the oldie but goodie, the Nutty Bar. The Nutty Bar, the peanut butter Nutty Bar. That would probably be, you know, my most consistent. But as a kid, you know, and I'm not. This is not my show for this because I get hurt. You know, I always tell people I've never cheated on my wife in 26 years, except with 3 ladies. And there's 3 ladies that I've cheated on her with. One is Susie Q. As a kid, I got going on Susie Q. Them 2, you know, like y'all got real serious. They're like, he's gonna tell this? Susie Q.
I knew where he was going.
Little Debbie. I've had an affair with her for years. And then, you know, Grandma. I went in the old Grandma cookies. I mean, they have been just a bear. They have hurt me, you know, in my life. And so, you know, those are the ones right there. But anyway, see, Eddie, you got me talking about something that you like. What's your favorite Little Debbie snack? Which one is yours?
I'm an oatmeal pie and a fudge brownie. Look, hey Ashley, give me an oatmeal pie, a fudge, the little fudge brownie with the walnuts, not the little. They can keep that little other little whatever stuff they got on these new ones. I want the old peanut the actual walnuts, and a cup of milk, an ice cold glass of milk. And boy, I'm in like Flynn in Ashley. Ashley, you don't look like you eating any of that stuff. You just lead up to fat guys like me and EV, huh?
I mean, you know, I'm not a big Debbie Cake eater. I'm really not. I'm not a big snack eater.
Yeah, I can tell you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Don't trust me. Little Debbie don't care. You know, Little Debbie don't care who you are. she trying to get here, and she gonna have that same smile, that little short dress on.
Hey,
gonna come in.
I'm gonna tell you this, EV. Now my guy Shoes, everybody knows Shoes. Me and Shoes work together, and we run our little league and stuff together. Now one thing Shoes go get, good old Gatorade, purple Gatorade, and that honey bun. Shoes go get the honey bun.
I should have had one of those Saturday for him.
He had one Saturday, Ashley.
Hey, what'd you say? Maybe he would have called a better game on Ashley.
Yeah, maybe we would have had a little more of a chance.
So you know the next time when you play it, when you come back to Jackson, bring Shoes some Gatorade and a honey bun, and you're gonna get some calls.
I'm on. I'll be ready next time.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna hold us any longer, man. I just wanted to give us this kind of like, this may be like what I call part 1, and we may come on and do another show, bring some other coaches on, and maybe some parents who would like to come on and maybe talk about their experience with AAU and the cost and different things like that. So we'll do this part of the show, what we call our last geek. And the last geek is you have 30 to 60 seconds to talk about whatever you like to talk about. long as it ain't about players. And we'll start with you, Gabe, and then we'll go to you, Chad, Ashley, Cordarius, Shoes, and Eddie.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start by giving Eddie Young a shout out for a job well done this weekend at the Magnolia Classic. A lot of great competition. I know my kids were very excited. Had a lot of really great games. Some I feel like we shouldn't have lost, but overall, great games, great competition. I had my kids chanting "New Kid on the Block." We kind of all thought that was a little funny, but overall, I do just I appreciate the support, especially from you guys. Just kind of welcoming me in, and just kind of giving me advice and giving me some things along the way. Other than that, I do look forward to continue doing business. Keep up the good work to all of y'all and in y'all future endeavors.
Chad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just like to say, you said we could talk about anything, right?
Yeah.
I just want to let these parents know, stop listening to so much of this negativity stuff. Go to the head source. If you want to know something, go to the person that you're hearing the things about. Don't be misled by somebody who's sitting behind the scenes and just blobbing stuff out. You know what I'm saying? And judge people off the character of what what a person has done for you. Stop worried about little things you hear that you say, oh, well, maybe this is how this person is. No, if he haven't showed you that, then you don't need to believe that. If a person been straight up with you, been 100 with you, keep that same level of respect and loyalty until that person cross you. And if you got a problem with something, come to the head source. That's how I am. I'm big on that. You know what I'm saying? If I say it in front of the kids, I can say it in front of the parents. If I say it in front of the parents, I can say it in front of the kids. So on that note, that is how I am. Since we just, talking about the AAU industry and all this stuff, that'll keep down a lot of confusion.
Ashley.
All right, I'll go ahead. Thanks for having me on today. I really enjoyed it. I just want to say to the parents of the athletes, don't just rely on the AAU program or the high school program to excel, better your kids. It also takes some individual work out on your own. So continue to motivate your kid, continue to support your child, and just continue to be an ear also for kids, both male and female. Also, thank you to the Bucks program. Thank you guys for having to Mr. Eddie. We had a great weekend, great tournament, great competition. Shoes. I'm looking for a better game next time. But overall, I'm a newcomer, but it has been great since being a part of the program, and I'm looking forward to this upcoming.
Cordarius. No, yeah. Yep, Cord.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just want to say, man, my brother Eddie, man, you threw a great event, man. You showed love. It was real win. Well ran. I know how you do it. You do it first class. Just looking to just continue to build a relationship with you guys. The Mississippi atmosphere was crazy with some of them games. Like Eddie knows some crazy games that we had packed out. Standing room only type games. And I love that. That's the fun part about events like this, the backyard cooking events, that we just meet head to head and just go at it. And whoever win or lose, we shake hands and we just appreciate the competition. And I just want to say, to the parents, hey, you got to put in a little to get out a lot in this thing. A college scholarship, is a lot of money. So, that little money you put in, I ain't gonna say it's little money, it's a lot of money, but it's gonna pay off if your kid doing the right work. So that's my last thing.
Shoes.
I just want to say, You know, we were talking about all of this today. I've coached, AAU girls, AAU boys, to travel team young men. There's no way that you can, participate as a coach or program director and not be putting a lot of your own into it. We were talking about that today, and I just want to reemphasize that there's no way you cannot put a lot of your own into it, from your time to what you're taking away from your family to something out of your own pocket. And we do it. I did it, and I'm sure all of the rest of these coaches do it because it's a labor of love. They love this game. They love these kids. They love being involved and trying to impact, a kid's life, helping them out. I love to tell people about some of the relationships I still have with. I haven't coached since 2010, but I still have some great relationships with some of the parents, some of the young men I coached in. They still see me. We still communicate. I still have really good relationships with them, and that just makes me feel good that I know that those parents feel like I was good for their child. So I just want to reemphasize it, man. These guys and ladies are doing it it's a labor of love. They're doing it because they love the kids and the game. So respect that, and don't, like they say, we've been saying, try to stay away from the negative.
Hey, well spoken, Shoes. Look, man, appreciate you. Chad, Cordarius, Gabe, everybody that came down this weekend, man. I just want to thank y'all, Ashley, and I know there's a lot of other coaches that may not be on. We did have a great event. Some like Cordarius said, some really good competition, man. And I just want to take a second. I know you guys gave me a lot of shout outs. I just want to shout each and every one of you guys out and let y'all know how much I appreciate y'all support, because you guys could have took y'all teams and played anywhere, and y'all were there supporting us, man, and being here and that type of thing, showing us love as well. So I'm just glad, and I hope that this is something that we can continue each and every year and continue to grow on it, man, because I think, to me, it's the state championship for AAU basketball in the state, especially as far as the girls side go. To my parents, this will be the first year that I'm assuming that I won't even have to pay the money out of my pocket. In 13 years, I've always paid money out of my pocket and taken from my family. And God has blessed me financially. I've been able to give back, and I've made that pledge to give back. But we're trending this year to not even have to pay any money. Coach Holbert, none of my directors and money people. So I'm just really blessed to have a tremendous group of parents this year, a tremendous group of kids. I love each and every one of them. I want to take out the time to say rest in peace to Lena Bass. Unfortunately, our baby lost her life last Sunday, a week or so ago, and tragically, and she'll always be remembered dear in our hearts. And we definitely want to put her at the forefront. Our sixth grade babies, Northeast, was able to win a huge emotional championship for her this weekend. And I know she wasn't there in the physical form, but I know she was there spiritually, out there making plays. And we had 6 players instead of 5. And a lot of teams didn't know it, man. So those girls, a couple of the kids that, kind of fell into my arms, and I talked with them at NBA. And I just want y'all to know that God don't make no mistakes. And he can do all things but fail. And sometimes we don't understand it. But she's gone on to another place. Oh, my God, that I promise you, if we ever got to that place, we wouldn't come back here. A place where you don't have to suffer no pain, no heartache, no trials and tribulations. So to Lena Bass, her family, we're praying for you guys. We support everything that you're doing, and just know that she's going to always be part of this particular program in our organization. Angela, shout out to Angela, the head coach, who did a great job corralling those kids and getting those kids through a very, very traumatic time. So beyond that, man, a great show. Me and Evie was talking at about 7:35, 7:36, and we was just in our spirit to try to jump on this show in less than an hour. So this was beyond impromptu, and you guys were able to take, time out really, really quick to get on the show. And I think they say sometimes, Shoes, the best things in life isn't playing. So even playing this show, and I think this is probably one of our better shows. Yep. So we'll pass it on to you, Evie. Again, much love to Lena Bass and her family, man.
God bless.
And our regards go out to her as well. life is very precious, and we know when we lose someone that young, that is a challenging time, and we can't even put a time limit on the grief and all of that. So we definitely add a prayer for the Bass family. Thank all of you for coming on. It's been a great show, and for those of you who are, I want to mention this. I give Eddie a lot of hard time and stuff, and but Eddie's done a tremendous job in hosting his tournaments and doing stuff. And a lot of times people think he's making all this money. I know how people, all the time spend people's money, but I want you guys to think about something. And this is there's the Run for Roses guy who does that. They have 1,000 teams, and they charge about $900 per team. And I just want you to understand that in entry fees alone, that's $900,000 that they bring in entry fees. So I want you to just think about that. And so a lot of times what happens is, and I really, this is a message, to be honest with you, to some of our Black parents and our Black people. I just have to say this. We have to support, each other and not hate on each other. Because I don't hear anybody ever complaining about, man, I can't believe, man, I ain't going to Walmart. I'm not gonna make Sam Walton rich. And we got to stop doing that to our own people. And so we have to, and I know this is my geek, so this is my last geek for the day. And so I just want us to look at each other and support each other, because we have somebody that's taking the time again to have these tournaments, to have these teams, and people should get paid for the time. And so that's a lot of the stuff that we were talking about tonight. Value people's time, appreciate them, because just like life is but a vapor. We can be here one day and gone the next, and then you got to have somebody to take this. So for Gabe Barber, Cordarius Jones, Ashley Daniels, Chad Jones, Lavelle Shoes Johnson, Eddie Big Head Young, I am EV the Geeker, and saying good evening, good night, and I